And then, so the way I do it is so I'll pick up the Yahoo side of it, and so this is strictly on the Yahoo fantasy side, and I keep the guys under 20% because we want guys that are like universally available. Obviously there's studs out there you could grab that are more productive, have bigger names, and or have been going off the last few weeks. But realistically, no matter what size league you're in, 10, 12, 16, 20, these guys should all pretty much be available, or at least you can bid for them. And it's Waiver Tuesday. So if you're going to get a bid in, or you're going to try to look for one of them, tonight's the night to do it. So that's why you're watching this stream. Number one, I put Jordan Mason. I don't think CMC is going to play Monday night. I think they're going to hold him out. I don't think they need CMC to beat the Vikings. They're a decent 2-4, but they're nothing great. I think the Browns are actually underrated. Browns got an all-time defense. I mean, they're fantastic, defensively. So, but I don't think the Vikings are as good as the Browns. So I think the 49ers will be fine. I think the thinking, hey, let's hold CMC out a week and then go from there. I think the Niners might have a bye week 8, but I'd have to double check that. But Jordan Mason, only 7% rostered, had a touchdown last week against the Browns. It'd be interesting to see what he does with full workload. Like if it's him and Elijah Mitchell, I would assume that Mason will be the feature back over Mitchell from what I've been reading. So I think he's worth kicking the tires on, because we saw all these 49er running backs throughout the years, whether it was Jeff Wilson, Mostert before he started tearing it up with the Dolphins. Mostert was with the 49ers for years. Elijah Mitchell, his backup now. I mean, these guys have all at various points taken advantage of that San Francisco offense and got a bunch of fantasy points, getting that RB1 spot. So Mason, I put at number 1. Number 2, Michael Mayer, only 5% rostered. And with bye weeks coming up, if you're a little lean at tight end, he's worth a pickup, even as a backup. Stash him on the bench, and if you got to throw him in for a week, I think after last week kind of opened a few people's eyes. I know the Patriots aren't great or anything, but if he plays another bad team, I wouldn't think twice about sticking him in there. For a bye week. Obviously, he's not, in my opinion, not a top 12 fantasy tight end, so he's not an every week starter in your typical 12-man league. But worth the roster spot, definitely. Number 3, this was debatable. Now, I just found out about the David Montgomery. Like, David Montgomery is going to be out indefinitely, which means more likely a couple weeks. If it's anything longer than that, they would have put him on IR, or it would have been bigger news. I think Montgomery is going to be out for a couple weeks. Jahmyr Gibbs is questionable for Sunday. So I was thinking about putting Craig Reynolds from the Lions in at number 3, which he could have very well went at number 3. Craig Reynolds should be under 20% as well. So he's another guy, if you want to, kind of my honorable mention. Craig Reynolds from the Lions would be another guy to go snag at running back. But I put Latavius Murray because it just seems like he's getting more looks. And the Bills. I don't know. I just think as the season goes on, just in case something happens to James Cook, Latavius Murray, this guy's ageless. Okay, he's somehow still in the league, and he not a starter or anything, not even a flex guy, but definitely a bench guy, and have him in reserve because he can still come in on. We saw it with Melvin Gordon. I mean, James Robinson got signed by the Packers. There's still a lot of these veteran backs that, in a pinch can come in and maybe get you some points. So Latavius Murray is the best of that bunch, in my opinion. So stick him on the bench. Number 4, Zach Evans. He's behind Murray and Mason only because I don't know 100% for sure if Kyren Williams is going to be out or not. Now, Kyren is probably doubtful, questionable in that vein, but it's not out for sure. So Kyren could play. Ronnie Rivers is going to be out till like end of November. So, I mean, he's going to be out till Thanksgiving. So Ronnie Rivers out of the question. So Zach Evans is worth a pickup just for the fact that he's going to be the backup, at least the backup of the Rams now. And I know Jay was saying that who'd they sign again?
Royce to the Freeman.
Yeah, Royce Freeman. So they're bringing a couple guys in to try to compete for some playing time. But definitely Zach Evans is worth a look. And he's only 4% rostered. And at this stage, running backs, especially on your bench, your starters better be damn pretty, at least decent. Otherwise, you're in more trouble than we think. But your bench can always use a running back like Zach Evans or Jordan Mason at this time of the year for sure. And number 5, a little surprising, but Wan'Dale Robinson. to me, he's kind of morphed into the Giants offense is terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's like being the smartest kid with Down syndrome. But Wandale Robinson,
Ah,
Robinson is it to me. He's the number. Yeah, here come the you're insensitive, Eli, or whatever the mob with their pitchforks. They're gonna come after me now. Wandale Robinson is a number one guy, like for the Giants right now. Jay might debate that. He might think Slayton. He might think, well, maybe Hyatt will come on. I've been waiting for Hyatt too, and right now it's just not going to happen this year. Maybe next year. And with Daniel Jones probably being out again with that neck injury, there'll probably be more Tyrod Taylor. So maybe of all the people, maybe Waller and Wandale have a rapport with Tyrod, and as long as Tyrod's in there, maybe Wandale's the number one guy. So, but I like the game. The game he had against Buffalo, and it'd be interesting to see what he does going forward. But only 18% rostered, and if you need some help on the bench with a receiver, he's the guy. And those are my Fab Five pickups. Fab Five.
when I think of the Giants, I kind of think of
Just a good old boy.
Yeah, I just see them just flying right off the cliff. That's what I see. This is how I see the Giants offense.
Yeah, Brian Dable's behind the wheel. Bo and Luke, Dable and Daniel Jones.
They're nowhere to be found. That's how I see it. This is how I see the Giants offense. I think Robinson will be kind of the main guy actually because he had good majority of the targets there.
Here we go.
I think he had. I think he had about 8 targets, and he caught all of them. He caught all. He caught all of his targets on 8 receptions. So Slayton, on the other hand, he was kind of tossed a little bit along, on some of the long bombs. I've seen a little bit, few missed catches here and there. So I think it's kind of Slayton's kind of a number. I think he's kind of bumped down to number 2 guy. I mean, I wish Hyatt would do something, but that's not even gonna be a question. The Murray thing, him and both those guys were out almost 50-50, 49% each on both these guys. So I mean, it's almost a 50-50 share with both these running backs. Zach Evans, he was actually out. I was actually trying to look at snap percentages and stuff like that, but when the heck was it? I think Rondale was out there a little bit more. About 60% of them. Slayton was out actually on 87% of them. So 80%. So Rondale was a little bit more productive than Slayton. Hyatt was out there too. I think he was out there, and he was out there too in 73% of snaps. So I mean, Rondale, with him not being out there, I mean, he was the go-to guy. I mean, especially with Taylor actually running around, scrambling around like that. Well, yeah, Rondale was just that short toss guy, and so I mean, that's why Rondale was actually getting the work in. And then I was actually gonna check out that see how many snaps so Evans was actually out in only 11% of the snaps, but that should actually rise if Williams and Ronnie Rivers are not going to be there. So Zach Evans is more likely he's actually going to probably be their lead guy going into this weekend. So yeah, I think I got Evans in some of my stuff too as well. Oh, there it is. So we'll swap on over here quick to the sleeper side of stuff here real quick.
Here we go.
Yeah. I know you mentioned Jordan Mason. I was actually going to look at Jordan Mason. I was actually looking at, so he was actually out there a little bit more than actually Elijah Mitchell. So it's very possible Jordan Mason could get the work in. He's kind of that short, explosive guy. So Mason could probably get the work in over Elijah Mitchell. So it could be, it might go 50-50 of both these guys because you don't know which way directions are going to go. So I mean, it could be either one of these guys. Mason's only 3% rostered. Jordan Smith, I know he's 23% rostered. If he's still out there, I would go. If you actually need a tight end, I'd go out. I actually picked him up. The funny, crazy thing is, right before the game started, I'm like, drop this guy, snagged up Jonathan Smith. He had a touchdown. So I went out, picked him up in the waiver wire, like
That was a great move on your part. This is the only guy in the Falcons passing attack getting anything. Getting anything is Jonnu Smith. Go figure. Go figure.
You're right. I know David Njoku, 59% rostered. I know he's a little bit high for what I usually kind of do, what I kind of anticipate, but it's very possible that he could be out there in some of these leagues. Somebody might have got frustrated, dropped him. I mean, he's still a talented tight end, and I mean, I think he had a touchdown this weekend too as well. So I mean, he's still liable to their offense. It's just they have so many pieces in there. They don't know which direction they're going. They don't have They don't have their main QB to get shit rolling. So I mean, they had freaking what the heck? Who is his name? I can't remember who they had for oh, PJ Walker. They have PJ Walker this weekend. So I mean, the Njoku was kind of getting some of the. I mean, as it's like, oh, PJ Walker. I'm like, this is insane, but I mean, he's seen some receptions. I mean, it's if PJ Walker is going to be in there for another week, Njoku is going to see some catches. That's he's going to reap the benefits there. Zach Evans, I know we just talked about him. He's going to be the leading guy with the Rams this week. 4% rostered. I know. Before we get too far, I know a lot of us, with the binado of 6 teams offhand. I mean, we got Carolina, we got Cincinnati, we got Dallas, we have Houston, we have the Jets, and we got the Tennessee Titans off. So I mean, 6 teams, 6 freaking teams. So I mean, you're gonna be missing guys like Bryce Young, Thielen, Sanders, Burrow, Chase Higgins. I mean, Prescott, Lamb, C.J. Stroud, Neo Collins, Damian Pierce, Winston and Hall. Henry and Spears, Hopkins maybe, but you have to replace all these guys this week. I mean, that's a lot of guys, that are main hitters for a lot of our
Ben,
lot.
6 bye teams. Pay attention. Wake up, class in session. Wake up.
But I mean, overall, I mean, I was trying to debate on Ritter. I didn't really want to put Ritter in this 10 to 12 man leagues. I think Joshua Dobbs is a little bit more valuable. I mean, he's got the rushing upside a little bit over Ritter. I just like Kenny Pickett a little bit. I mean, Kenny Pickett might be down just a little bit, but Kenny Pickett's actually at the Rams. It might be an uphill battle, but I like the I like the Pickett to Pickens combination, man. And I think they're going to score a touchdown in there. So it's that's just me. I like the fact that Pickens is going to go out there and do something. And they're coming off a bye. So I mean, hopefully maybe they got their shit together and they actually come out and beat the Rams, who are pretty much high flyers right now. But I'd rather have Pickens over Ritter myself. I mean, earlier in the show I already said why I don't like Ritter, but these are some of the other guys. A couple other mentions too here quick. If you need another tight end, say if you don't like, if the Joker's not out there, go out there and get Michael Meyer. Michael Meyer, yeah, the slasher killer. Michael Meyer.
Yeah.
No.
Die.
Maybe he needs to dress up like that. Maybe he'll get some more touchdowns that way. I mean, dress up as Michael Myers and everybody will scatter off his way. And then Craig Reynolds. Go and snag him up too as well. I mean, I know I was going to think about putting him up here, but if Montgomery's not playing and Gibbs, I know I have shares of Gibbs, but I'm frustrated with Gibbs because I don't know if he's actually playing or if he's going to be limited now or what. So Craig Reynolds will be kind of a guy kind of in there to kind of mess everything up. So go out and get some, I don't know what his percentage is. I didn't write that down, but go out and get some Reynolds. So those are my 10 to 12 man leagues or guys to pick up in 10 to 12 man leagues. And we'll swap on over here quick to my deep 6 players. It gets to be a little more skittish too, especially when you're.
1 second, just to close up the Craig Reynolds. Yahoo, he's only 2% rostered. So if you guys want, he's available in any size league. He should be available on Sleeper or any other ESPN, CBS, wherever the hell you play. So yeah, go snag him tonight because I'm telling you what, he's a big time sleeper for this week 7 coming up.
Yes. So man, this was actually really hard for me because I was actually really scouring. I picked up another league. Some guy asked me like, hey, do you want to, join this 14-man keeper league. I know I use a different alias, so I didn't want this league to hurt my reputation with my main stuff. So I'm kind of in another league too as well, and
You going undercover.
yeah, it's when you get to these deeper leagues, it's really hard and it gets to be really skim pickings. Because I mean, if you're not nailing a lot of these, high end guys early in your drafts, you're gonna be screwed. Especially, you're gonna be screwed because I mean, you're gonna be looking and scouring the waiver wire. You're gonna be like, God, who do I look at next? I mean, that's why you're gonna be going out to get a Zach Evans. You're gonna be going out and get a Craig Reynolds for this week and find another guy who's gonna pop the next week. It's I mean, I have Ritter on this. It makes me sick to my stomach. I got Pickens there. I mean, he's out there, but I mean, it's. I know he's laughing at me.
See, he does Ritter. He does this to people. He tricks you. He's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm available. Hey, look at my stats. Got a couple 26 plus fantasy games. I'm capable. Come talk to me. Hey,
Yeah.
Jamie. He did it again. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guy is Minshew. Minshew is gonna be the guy for the rest of the year. I mean, with AR5, it's you know, Minshew is he's not that sexy QB that everybody wants, but he's a gunslinger. I mean, he's gonna go out there and just play guns out. I mean, he's gonna be in the wild west, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna be that that bank robber against the police guy, and he's just gonna
He
be
looks like one. He looks like Wyatt Earp.
So he's like he's gonna be like Josh Downs, you're gonna get some balls. Pittman, you're gonna get some balls. So I mean, it's gonna be kind of like free for all. And in this situation with Minshew, I like the fact that Josh Downs will get an uprise. I mean, we mentioned Josh Downs already. And there's also speculations too that Jerry Jeudy is maybe could be traded to the Colts as well. I mean, that's just speculation.
I heard that. I'll follow up quick on that, Jay. Judy to Indy's been rumored, and then Alec Pierce is hurt, so he's going to be out a little bit. So, and that he's kind of been their number 3 or number 4 guy, so that should help. That definitely help Downs, and Pittman's going to do his normal thing, but Josh Downs, his value is just going upwards. So, if you don't have your hands on Josh Downs yet, I think he went over the 20% mark, which is why I didn't put him on. Or he's he's starting to rise in Yahoo, so I didn't put him on my list this week. But yeah, Josh Downs definitely. This is a side note with Minshew, but
Luke Musgrave, 23% roster. He just over a little bit of that 20% roster, but I mean, I tried to kind of give or take just a little bit on on production and whatnot, because 16 teams gets to be a little bit more skimp, so you might have to go look at a higher guy that's rush, a little bit higher percentage. And Luke Musgrave is one of those guys. I mean, he's looking good. I mean, he's getting 3 targets per game, which is not bad for a tight end, especially in that that Packers offense. I mean, with Love scrambling for his life and not knowing what he's doing. I mean, Musgrave's he's going to be there for get those receptions in there. He's going to be his little love shield. So it's just like I'm here. I'm here.
Machine.
I'm here. Give me the damn ball. But yeah, if you need a tight end,
that's what I want to buy. I want to get on Amazon. I want to buy me a love shield.
You should do that next time we talk about Musgrave. Put up that my love shield.
Yep.
And then we got even though our boy Tyler, Trey Palmer is getting his ass whooped by Tompkins. It's not fair. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame that Devian Tompkins is outplaying our boy. This game. Mayfield, Palmer was open. He just overthrew him a couple times. I'm like, I was so excited. I was hoping to have Palmer a touchdown in this game, because I would have been all over it, white like rice, but whatever.
Baker against bad team. Good. Baker against good team. Bad. That's pretty
right?
much how you
And
set. That's pretty much how you need to do. That's pretty much how you need to go about grabbing these Bucks receivers, because you can grab Palmer and Tompkins in just about any size league. They're both well under 20% in sleeper
yeah,
and Yahoo for sure. So, but yeah, that's how you need to judge the Bucks receivers that week. Basically, did Evans or Godwin get hurt possibly, and who's Baker playing?
right.
He was awful.
Yep. They're actually playing the rate. They're actually playing the Falcons this week. So maybe there's a good chance that our boy Palmer could get a touchdown. But we'll have to see about that one. But anyways, you know what they should do is bring back one more week with those creamsicles. Give him
Yeah,
some
yeah.
Palmer a touchdown over to over the
Redo. Yep.
Falcons. Yep. Kind of just wash
Take
this
two.
out and yep. Last but not least, we have Brandon Powell, who's 7% rostered. Um, he's actually had 4 targets this last weekend. He was out in 60% of the snaps. So if you're in deeper leagues, Brandon Powell is a guy to look at. With more than likely Jefferson might be shut down for the season. Brandon Powell will probably be that next guy in this offense. And with Hawkinson not really doing much, kind of skimping off there a little bit. I mean, Addison is kind of your guy. I mean, Brandon Powell will be kind of your wide receiver 3 in
Yeah,
this poor Vikings offense.
yeah. If you got Jordan Jay, if these guys had gotten Jordan Addison, drafted him or whatever, he was too high of a pick to have been a free agent. I'm assuming in most people's drafts, so he was probably drafted. You got a home run, because Addison, not quite, no, not JJ, or I mean JJ is 1A in the league. I mean, probably the first or second best receiver in the whole league. So you're not going to just replace him, but Addison's been damn good. I think he's been a damn good fill-in. Osborne, he is what he is. I gave him a chance to, and we'll have to see. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe KJ does a little more, but he might just be slotted in where he's at. Just
Yeah.
a solid, good number 3, and number 2, you're starting to push it. If you're throwing him in your starting lineup, just hoping. I mean, during a bye week, you could probably, I don't know about the 49ers. I mean, this is a bad matchup this week, but going forward, especially if they play the Bears again, they got a terrible defense. So yeah, Kate, yeah, see what Osborne can do, but yeah, definitely been impressed with Jordan Addison. And
Yeah, that's for sure.
Powell's what? Probably their number 3, number 4.
He probably be he'd be their number 3 guy. I mean, y'all probably have, Addison, maybe Hawkinson up in there. I mean, if Madison, maybe Madison gets a little bit up in there, so KJ will be their number 2 guy for sure, or 3. So Powell, yeah, 3, 4-ish, somewhere in there, so I mean, just a long shot in the dart, with 4 targets. I mean, it's not bad, especially with this Viking offense. I mean, honestly, I think he's the only other guy.
They do got a good offense. That Kirk is very capable of putting up 350, in very, pretty various weeks. So yeah, it's not, especially in a 16-man, 20-man. If you need to stash some people on your bench, there's a lot worse options than Brandon Powell for sure.
Yep, there is. But and then we got Michael Myers and Craig Reynolds, just to recap some of those guys too as well. Michael Myers. No, it's Mayers. It almost makes me think of those that Mayer trucking company up in North Dakota with their big old longhorn.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We need to get we're talking. We either need to get like one of the sound effects from the movie, or we need to get like a horn or something for when we talk about Michael Mayer. We got to get him like his own sound.
But yeah, he had 7 targets against the Raider. He had 7. What? Oh, I'm an idiot. But yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, he was at. He had 7 targets at the Raiders. I'm like, no, that's not right. But yeah, he had 7 targets against his last opponent. So I mean, it's not bad. But yeah, I think that recaps everything. Yeah, I hope you guys get a little something out of our waiver wire. Those are, especially with Yahoo, Eli's Fab 5, and my top 6 for, 10 to 12-man leagues, and deep sleepers as well for those 16-man leagues. And yeah,
deep, going deep, going all the way deep. And you know what? We gave you some waivers in your leagues, and now